Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's insane cheating story, I've got a quick question for you. What city are you watching this from? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to see where you all are tuning in from. Now grab a snack, get comfortable, and enjoy the story. From the moment she looked at me that way, I knew I was in trouble. I'm 20. Always thought I was the kind of guy who'd never get caught up in anything messy. I kept my circle small, stayed out of drama, and I valued loyalty more than anything, especially loyalty to my best friend, Jason. Jason and I had been boys since middle school. We've been through everything. Fights, heartbreaks, family crap. He's not just a friend, he's like my brother. So when he introduced me to his new girlfriend, Chloe F19, I made it clear from day one, she's off limits. And honestly, first it was easy. Chloe was cool, pretty, confident, smart, maybe a little too flirty sometimes. But I chalked that up to her personality. Some people are just naturally charming, right? But over time, things started to feel off. Started small. We'd be hanging out, me, Jason, Chloe, and she'd always sit a little too close. Her eyes would linger. One time, I caught her watching me when she thought I wasn't looking. It wasn't just casual glancing. It was something else, like she was studying me. I told myself I was imagining it. Maybe I just needed sleep. Then came the comments. Subtle at first. She'd say things like, "Jason's so lucky to have you around. Not many guys are this loyal." Or, "You're honestly more of a man than most of the people I know." Felt like compliments, but also like bait. I laughed it off, made a dumb joke, tried to ignore it. But she kept pushing boundaries. Once, when Jason went to the kitchen to grab drinks, she leaned in and whispered, "Ever wonder what it'd be like if we met first?" I froze. I laughed it off. What else could I do? But inside, something churned. She didn't blink, just gave me that look again. That look that said she wasn't joking. I didn't tell Jason. I wanted to, but what would I even say? "Hey, man, your girlfriend might be into me?" I'd sound paranoid. Or worse, like I was trying to start something. So I kept quiet. Told myself it was just harmless flirting. Nothing would come of it. Until one night, it did. It was a Friday. Jason was out of town for the weekend visiting his grandma. He'd asked me to check in on Chloe because she wasn't feeling well. I said sure, thinking I'd just drop off some meds, say hi and bounce. When I got there, she opened the door in a loose hoodie and short shorts. No makeup, hair up. She still looked good, too good, honestly. She smiled and said, "You came. That's sweet." I handed her the bag with medicine and said I couldn't stay long. She told me to at least have a drink. "Just water," she said, "and not to be so uptight." I stayed. I shouldn't have. We talked for a bit. Nothing intense. But then, out of nowhere, she said, "Do you ever think about it?" I blinked. Think about what? She looked me dead in the eyes. What it would be like, me and you. My mouth went dry. I couldn't even process it at first. I laughed, thinking she was joking again. But she wasn't smiling. "Jason doesn't have to know," she added softly. I stood up, fast. "I should go." She didn't move, just tilted her head and said, "You're already here. Why pretend you don't feel it too?" I left, practically ran out the door. The second I hit the street, my heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. My hands were shaking, because here's the thing, part of me did feel something, but it was drowned by guilt, disgust, and a terrifying question. What if this doesn't stop here? I thought I could run from it, but she made sure I couldn't. After that night, I avoided Chloe like the plague. I ignored her texts, stopped coming around when I knew she'd be there, even made excuses to Jason. I told him I was just busy with work, tired, burned out. He believed me. Of course he did, I'm his best friend. But the guilt was eating me alive. Not because I'd done something, but because deep down I was starting to want something I knew I shouldn't. It would have been easier if she just backed off, if she acted like nothing happened. But Chloe, she doubled down. The text started slow. "Hey, are you okay? You seemed weird the other night. Did I make things awkward? I didn't reply. Then she started sending photos, nothing explicit, just her outfits. Dresses, tops, posing in front of a mirror like she was just showing off. But always captioned with something like, "Would this get your attention if I wasn't taken?" Or, "Too much?" Or, "Just enough?" I felt sick, and flattered, and angry, and worst of all, curious. I wanted to tell Jason. I wanted to scream it at him. But every time I pictured his face, the betrayal, the heartbreak, I froze. How do you destroy your best friend's world with one sentence? And part of me, the weak part, wanted to believe maybe I'd imagined it. That I was reading into things. That if I just stayed away, it would all go away. But it didn't. One night, about 2 weeks after I visited her place, she sent me a message that changed everything. "Jason's working late again. I'm bored. You should come over. Just to talk." I stared at the screen for 5 full minutes. I didn't answer. 5 minutes later, no pressure, just friends, like old times. Still, I said nothing. My phone buzzed again. "Unless you're scared of what might happen." That line hit me like a punch, because I was scared, not of her, but of me. I wish I could say I stayed strong. I wish I could say I deleted her number and told Jason the truth. But I didn't. I got in my car, drove across the city, parked outside her apartment and sat there, hands gripping the steering wheel, trying to convince myself to go back home. Instead, I texted, "Outside." She replied instantly, "Doors open." I stepped inside and the lights were low. Music was playing, something slow with too much bass. She was wearing that same hoodie again. Only this time, it was unzipped just enough to show she wasn't wearing much underneath. "Hey," she said casually, like this wasn't dangerous, like this wasn't betrayal dressed in soft lighting. I kept my voice firm. "This was a bad idea." She smiled. "Then why did you come?" I didn't answer. Couldn't. My throat felt tight. She stepped closer. "Do you want me to stop?" she asked, voice almost a whisper. My heart was beating so hard I thought it might break through my ribs. "Yes," I said, but I didn't move. She leaned in, slow and steady. Her hand brushed mine, and I didn't pull away. Her lips were inches from mine when a knock shattered the moment. Knock, knock, knock. We both froze. Another knock, harder this time. I turned to look at the door, my chest filled with ice. Then I heard it, Jason's voice. "Chloe, you home? I got off early." There's a split second in life when everything hangs in the balance. And that night, it came with a knock. Jason's voice on the other side of the door hit me like a freight train. "Chloe, you home? I got off early." Time froze. Chloe's eyes widened. Not with guilt, not even panic, but something stranger. Excitement. Like we'd been caught in some sick little game and this was the climax she'd been waiting for. I, on the other hand, felt my stomach drop like I'd been pushed off a building. My hands were shaking. My pulse was in my ears. I could barely breathe. "Knock, knock, babe." She turned to me, calm as ever, and whispered, "Go to the bedroom. He won't come in there." I looked at her like she was insane. "What? No, this is over. I shouldn't even be here." She grabbed my arm. Not hard, but with a kind of urgency that chilled me. "Just go. Please. I'll get rid of him." I heard keys jingling. I made a choice. A coward's choice. And slipped down the hallway, heart pounding like a war drum. I stood in her bedroom, in the dark, listening to the front door open. "Jason, I wasn't expecting you so early," she said sweetly. "Yeah, I know. I figured I'd surprise you." He laughed. "You feeling any better?" "A little. I was just about to take a nap." "Oh, you're in your hoodie again. That's your sick uniform." "Huh?" They were feet away. I was sweating bullets, praying he wouldn't notice the 2 glasses on the coffee table, or the faint scent of my cologne in the air. "Mind if I hang out for a bit?" he asked. "I was actually just about to shower and lie down," she replied quickly. "Maybe later?" There was a pause. I imagined him looking around. My heart stopped with every breath. All right. Didn't mean to bug you," he said. I'll head home. Just wanted to check in. Thanks, babe. You're sweet. A kiss. I heard it. That soft smack of lips. My gut twisted. I felt like I was suffocating in my own skin. Love you, he said. Love you too. The door closed. Silence. I waited 5 whole minutes before creeping out of the bedroom. Chloe stood by the door, arms crossed, face unreadable. You can go now, she said, voice cold. I stared at her. What the hell was that? She didn't flinch. You came here, not me. I didn't force you to do anything. I opened my mouth to respond, but the words didn't come, because she was right. I came here. That night I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Jason's face, his smile, the way he said love you without suspecting a thing. And I saw Chloe, calm, dangerous, like she was playing chess while I was still figuring out the rules. I decided this had to stop. The next day, I met up with Jason. Just us, burgers and beers, our usual. He told me he was thinking about proposing to her. I choked. What? I managed to say, yeah, man, I know it's fast, but it just feels right. She's different. Real. My mouth went dry. My stomach twisted. He leaned back in the booth and smiled. You've been weird lately, bro. Everything good? I nodded slowly. Yeah, just tired. That night, Chloe texted me. So, are you gonna tell him? Or are we gonna keep playing pretend? Then she sent a picture. A selfie. Her in bed wearing nothing but his hoodie. Caption. Bet you're thinking about what would have happened if he didn't knock. I stared at it, rage and shame boiling inside me. And I finally realized something. This wasn't just about lust. This wasn't just about guilt. She wanted to destroy him, and she wanted to use me to do it. Secrets have weight, and some lies, they crush you from the inside out. For the next few days, I tried to go back to normal, to pretend like nothing happened, to laugh with Jason, hang out like always, ignore the voice in my head screaming at me. You're a coward. Couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. Chloe kept texting, cryptic messages, jokes, even more photos. She was playing with fire and dragging me with her. One night she sent, you gonna tell him? Or should I? And then, maybe I'll just let it slip when I'm wearing your name in my mouth. I snapped. Leave me alone. Don't text me again. You're sick. But she didn't stop. She knew I wouldn't say anything, because she knew my weakness. Loyalty. That weekend, Jason called me, excited. Bro, we're doing a cabin trip. You, me, Chloe. Just like old times. The irony punched me in the throat. You in? He asked. I should have said no. I should have lied, made an excuse, vanished. Instead, I said, yeah, sure. The cabin was about 2 hours out of town. By a lake, surrounded by trees. Quiet. Peaceful. Too peaceful. The first night was fine. We grilled, had a few beers, played some old-school card games. Jason passed out early, tipsy and smiling. I stayed up, staring at the fire. Chloe sat across from me in the glow of the flames. She didn't say anything at first. Then softly, you're thinking about telling him, aren't you? I didn't answer. She moved closer. It's sweet. You still care. But he'll never believe you. Not over me. I looked at her. You think this is a game? She smiled. I think you liked it. At least part of you did. I stood up. I'm done. She tilted her head. No, you're not. If you were, you'd have told him already. But you haven't. No, why? She stood too, now face to face with me. Because deep down, you still want me. I went inside and locked the door behind me. I couldn't take it anymore. The guilt, the confusion, the disgust. I pulled out my phone, opened my voice recorder, and began talking. Not to her, to him. Jason, I don't know how to say this, man, but something happened, and I didn't stop it when I should have. I didn't sleep with her, but she tried. More than once. She came on to me, told me she wanted us to happen behind your back. I didn't touch her, but I didn't tell you either. I froze. I messed up, bro. And I'm sorry. I paused. You need to know who she really is. I owe you that. I sent the recording and waited 10 minutes later, I heard the front door slam. Jason stormed into the room, phone in hand, face pale. "What the hell is this?" he growled. I stood. "It's the truth." His eyes were wild. "You're lying. You're trying to take her from me." "No, I'm trying to save you from her." He shoved me hard. "Don't you dare act like this is for me. You betrayed me." "I didn't," I started, but he cut me off. "Did you touch her?" "No." "Did you want to?" Silence. He laughed bitterly. "That's all I needed to know." He turned and left, slamming the door behind him. Chloe followed a minute later, face twisted into a smirk. "That was cute. Noble. Didn't work, did it?" I didn't say a word. She walked up to me, leaned close. "You ruined everything. And for what? His forgiveness? You'll never get it." She left too, and I was alone. I stayed in that cabin the rest of the night. I didn't sleep. I didn't cry. I just stared at the ceiling and thought, this is what rock bottom feels like. You don't always get closure. Sometimes all you get is clarity. I didn't hear from Jason for weeks after the cabin. No calls, no texts, nothing. The silence was worse than being yelled at, worse than getting hit. He was my brother, and now I was a ghost to him. Part of me wanted to chase him down, apologize again, beg. But what would I even say that I hadn't already? I didn't kiss her. I didn't touch her. But I didn't stop her either. And that was enough to break everything. I saw Chloe once more by accident. I was grabbing coffee downtown and turned around to find her standing in line behind me. She smiled like nothing had happened. Well, look who survived." I didn't say a word. "He moved out, you know," she added, casually sipping her latte. "Didn't even say goodbye. Took everything and left like I was the villain." I stared at her. "You are the villain." She chuckled. "That's funny, because if I remember right, you showed up at my place. You stood there and let it happen." I stepped closer, calm. "The difference between you and me," I said. "I hated myself for it." She rolled her eyes and turned to leave. "You'll get over it. Maybe next time you won't hesitate so much." That was the last time I saw her. But Jason, he wasn't done with me. About a month later, I got a message. Just one word. Meet. No location. No time. But I knew what it meant. I found him at the old basketball court we used to hit after school. He was already there, shooting hoops like it was just another afternoon. I waited in silence until he finished. He walked over, threw me a bottle of water. "I should have punched you," he said. I nodded. "Yeah. Still kinda want to." "Then do it," I said. "If it helps." He stared at me for a long moment, then sighed. "You know what hurts the most? I trusted you more than I trusted her. And you let her breathe between us." I looked him in the eyes. "I know, and I'll carry that. Forever." We stood in silence again. The kind of silence that's louder than any argument. Finally, he said, "She lied. A lot. About everything. You were just the last test." I frowned. Test. She wanted to see if she could get the one person I thought never would. He tossed the ball against the fence and walked away. "Take care of yourself, man. But we're not boys anymore." He didn't look back, and I didn't call after him, because he was right. Weeks passed. Seasons shifted. And somehow I learned to live with the weight of it. Not to forget, but to accept. I changed, got quieter, more careful with people, more honest about boundaries. Because sometimes the most dangerous thing isn't who you sleep with, it's who you let close enough to burn everything down. Do I regret it? Yes. Would I do it differently now? Without a doubt. But the truth is, the damage was done the moment I let her in, even if I never laid a hand on her. I tell this story now not for sympathy, not for redemption, but for the next guy out there. Don't wait for the knock on the door to wake up. Loyalty doesn't mean silence. It means protecting the people you love, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Thanks so much for watching till the end. It means a lot. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. More wild stories are coming soon. Until next time, have an amazing day and stay out of trouble.